have movement, that means it moves. If you're moving, that means you got to recalibrate. You got to go back to the chart, go back to the stars and say, where are we now? And where are we in relation to where we want to go? It's just absolutely natural. If a group don't do it, if a ship on a journey don't do it, they'll run up on the rocks sooner or later because they don't recalibrate. So we've always done that from time to time. And it seems like this is a good time to do it, to recalibrate. So during this recalibration period, the goals and everything improves. Because we recalibrate, where are we now compared to, we've done a lot of good. We have done a whole lot of good, and we never got pushed around or changed. Boss man never made us mean and hateful. I mean, the stuff he do, he'd make you mean and hateful. You know, you go out and start your car, it won't start. Every other day, you know, after 20 years, this is cold-blooded, you know. They don't have that effect on us. That's why the cookbook was so, it wasn't funny. But I was watching the guys. I can imagine that you could fill me in about how you look at it. I can imagine they've never been to a cookbook like that.
Well, no, they've been here before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, they've been here before.
Very good, very good.
So I think they were kind of used to it. Well, familiar, but the message of self-esteem resonated because they're being told pretty much you don't have a certain level of knowledge, or before you can do certain things, you have to get a certain level of knowledge.
Yeah.
So, you know, that from that aspect, you're telling them, look, you know, basically, you know, filter everything through Quran and Sunnah, but be yourself. You know, use your own experience. That's what you're teaching.
Yeah.
Base everything off your own experience, and you know, pretty much, you know, don't care what other people think.
Well, definitely, any business or any manual or anything on leadership, that's the first thing they tell you is you get a gut feeling, you got to move on it. And risk management, if you're not willing to take no risk, you got to get out of business, right? They don't have those. If you have the lower the risk, the lower the money. You almost don't make no money. If you don't take no risk, you ain't gonna make but $5 a year. Because you're not, you know, but the one that take the calculated risk, we're not just throwing things up in the air, but we're saying, we done tried with Boss Man, we done tried with this group and that, and now the earth is on fire and it's drowning, so we got to get busy. You know, we got to do what we know appears to be right to us.
Right.
And that's the thing about business. Every now and then, you come up with a brilliant idea, but the people around you usually are not going to see it the way you do. Man, that's a big chance there. And they got 50 zillion questions. What about this? What about that? What about that? Right? All the time, tell the truth.
They wanted the easy caravan. They wanted to attack the easy caravan. They didn't want the
No doubt about it. Well, right now, but you know the hard caravan is becoming the easy caravan. The United States is not where it was 10 years ago. Definitely not 20, 30, or post-Vietnam. The United States is technically almost finished.
right.
It ain't but 5 people in the world that don't see it. And they all right down want to see the decline of America. And we've been writing about it for decades. And that's why we thank Allah for it. And I'll close with this. This one's important too. Forgotten hero. One of the first things I discovered, and I'll close with that. When I went to Algeria, and everybody had ran off to Algeria, that our people was over there flat broke. And they had taken them out of the news, and wasn't nobody sending them no money. They didn't speak French, they didn't speak Arabic, and they had no skills. You know, revolutionaries, a lot of them don't have no skills like fixing cars and electricity. Right? And they ain't had time to learn any skill that you can use. And that's the way that most of the people in exile didn't have no skill that they could translate over there. And the people here cut them on loose. You're talking about, that was the saddest scene that I ever seen in my life, except what I saw out of Lord, is to see our people in exile. That's why all the money I had, I just gave it to them. And the people told me, you should have did it. I said, no, I get some more. And I did it. Shoot, I went to South America, and the white man is the one led me there. If you think I'm lying, look in Newsweek, 1979, Newsweek, might be January 1979. They got the whole cocaine smuggling thing, you know, when they want to introduce somebody, that's how you get rich quick. They write a big magazine article about it. So all the adventurous, they're gonna read that. So I just left Europe, and I went to Mexico. I was just getting ready to take my next big step. And they got the whole smuggling plan. So you go to Colombia, here's what everybody's doing. They're wrapping it up like this, they're doing it. I said, what? I was too stupid to realize that that's what they wanted me to do. And I did it exactly that, and got rich. When I went back to Africa to bring them, because I told them, well, I'm leaving, I'm going to go get some money anyway after the revolution. When I come back, they was all gone. The money was gone. I mean, the people was gone. And I had bags of money for them. Anyway, the last thing I want to say about this thing of hope and optimism, if you got it all the time, you'll win each time, every time, and all the time. And when you don't win by 4 or 5 lengths, you will have enough optimism to say, hey man, I'm glad I lost that because I ain't going to do that no more, that no more, that no more. So you always win with optimism. Are there any questions or comments? That's where we want to be right now, at what we just talked about. We want to raise more funds, get back to our youth, even though we want to start the school again. Wow. It doesn't make no difference because the people never come by and thank you. That was a wonderful school with the best children in the whole educational system because of my Islam school. They don't say that, but that's not the reason you did it no way. Right? For somebody to come out, we should thank you for this. No, absolutely not. And guess what? And I can't get it out of my mind why people, you got to spend the money on something, so spend it on the kids. And what I'm going to do with any money, I sleep over there on the floor, same place I've been sleeping for years, and I don't want to be anywhere else. Right? And I can't eat the food that we have or I'll be fat, and I don't want to be fat. better picture. But I just want to put out the ideological direction we'll be headed in. And last thing, we have done a good job. All of these 40-something years between Oakland and here, we never turned on nobody, we never snitched on nobody, we never stole nothing from nobody. I believe we have the best record in the United States amongst Negroes and other peoples of color. We don't even have to go in the fight with the white man. We know he ain't. He done lost the contest, the ethical contest. Anyway, if there's no more questions or comments, does anything on
No.
Okay.
Nobody, nope.
Okay. And the background I was using, this is 1983 for review. So we've always been on the same management course, studying, renewing where we are, where we're going to go, how we want to get there, and then reviewing it again and again. It's a whole cycle. We'll do it over and over. That's all we're doing. It's, a strategic management cycle. That's what it's called. White folks call it. When you scan your environment, then you make a plan, right? Then you institute the plan, then you go over how well we've done, where we are. And that's basically what we're doing now. So, if there's no questions or comments, so thank y'all very much.